There was a boy, a very strange, enchanted boy. They say he wandered very far over land and sea. A little shy and sad of eye, but very wise was he. And then one day, one magic day, he passed my way. And as he spoke of many things, fools and kings, this he said to me: the greatest thing you'll ever learn is just to love and be loved in return. A little shy and sad of eye, but very wise was he. And then one day, one magic day, he passed my way. And as he spoke of many things, fools and kings, this he said to me: the greatest thing you'll ever learn is just to love and be loved in return. If this is my last song, if this is my final day, if tomorrow I'll be gone, what do I have to say? If this is my last song, if this is my time to go, what do I want to say? If it's my time to go, if this is my last song, if this is my final day, if tomorrow I'll be gone, what do I want to say? This is my last song, if it's my time to go, when my body's moved on, what will I have to show? Oh, but fortune and fame, they scatter to the wind, things that make a name just don't matter in the end. Is the world a little more peaceful? Oceans and sky a little more blue? Is humankind a little bit wiser about the good that we can do? Does the sun shine a little bit brighter where before there was only rain? If so, then I'm glad these are my last words for all of the earth to hear. If all that I have ever been is about to disappear, if these are my last words, there's nothing that I need to say. I have only tried to serve. It's never been about talking anyway. so much hurt there is to heal, it's hard to understand. All that I can hope to feel is that I'm doing what I can. But is the sky a little more peaceful? Oceans and sky a little more blue? Is humankind a little bit wiser about the good that we can do? Does the sun shine a little bit brighter where before there was only rain? If so, then I'm glad I came. Have I given hope to the hopeless? Has a hungry soul been fed? Has a child stood a little bit taller cause of something that I've said? Have I left a little more kindness? Have I eased a little pain? If so, then I'm glad I came. For that, I'm so glad I came. If this is my last song, what do I leave behind? What do I pass on if I am out of time? Thank you so much.
Thank you, Joy. And you have indeed made the world a little brighter. But we are very glad that it is not your last song either.
Me too.
Yes.
That makes two of us.
Right. Well, good morning, Unity of Palm Harbor. Good morning to you folks that are watching out there online. Glad to have all of you with us, and it's a delight to be back. And it was a great 2 weeks off. We went to the exotic land of Odessa. and had a great time. And thank you, Reverend Marilyn, for taking care of things so well, and Judith and Kimon for doing our meditations, and of course our music team is on top of it as always, and we got Mike and Rob back there in the sound room, and Lucky is with us after going through just a minor heart attack. He's back on camera, so we are delighted. We're ready to rock and roll and go. And one thing, Marilyn, I must say, I was really impressed by your father's longevity. Those of you who weren't paying attention, she said her dad served in World War I. Yes, we kind of knew that was the case. Well, anyway, I'm glad to be back, all rested and refreshed and ready to rock and roll, as I said, and let's begin with some music, shall we?
Thank you for boundless love you give us, for steadfast faith that you are with us, for song and blessing, our eyes expressing the joy we feel to be alive, for every measure of every pleasure upheld by you, we will survive. Thank you for all you have created, for a stage of life we've celebrated, for friends and laughter, hope ever after, through every season of our lives, giving, receiving, living, believing, from strength to strength, we will survive. For every moment we are given, for home and family we believe in, for grace and gladness, vanishing sadness, 2,000 victories with our own hands, our life's direction, our God's protection, the worth and promise, our life's command. To know this heritage I treasure, insight in work, delight in leisure, in celebration, in congregation, a path to walk. I must decide, a heart to love me, blue sky above me, a day of wealth that you provide, for lasting brightness, wholeness, uprightness, so loved by you, my God, my guide, endlessly blessed. I am revived. Thank you for boundless love you give us, for steadfast faith that you are with us, for song and blessing, our eyes expressing the joy we feel to be alive, for every measure of every pleasure upheld by you, we will survive, endlessly blessed. We are alive.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, Joy, and good morning to everybody.
If we could have a moment of your time, there's something we would like to do. Combine our voices and our hearts together as we sing a loving song for you. On the inside and the outside we are all connected, and the love we share is true. Together we will grow, together we will know. One world, one heart, one love, one you. In your heart of hearts you know is true. All the love you give is meant for you. We will see it in the mirror of life's reflection. What you give comes back to you. On the inside and the outside we are all connected, and the love we share is true. Together we will grow, together we will know. One world, one heart, one love, one you. Somehow we know it's true. God is love, and love is you. On the inside and the outside we are all connected, and the love we share is true. Together we will grow, together we will know. One world, one heart, one love, one you.
Thank you. And now Tommy and Wayne will be joining us and sing a song called Let There Be Light.
One.
So I'll start. Okay.
Joining hearts and minds together at this place and in this time, for the purpose of creating with universal mind. from the essence of pure love, within, without, below, above, in the truth of what is so, in this ever-present flow. Let there be light, light to see, the love in you, the love in me, ever true, ever free. Let there be light, light to see. We come together to remember, together we remind, together we renew body, spirit, and mind. It's all so simple, elemental. One and one is one, you'll find. There is no other sister, brother. We are one of a kind. Let there be light, light to see, the love in you, the love in me, ever true, ever free. Let there be light, light to see. Recombine, recreate, we all share the same fate, to return to where we start, with open eyes and open heart. Let there be light, light to see, the love in you, the love in me, ever true, ever free. Let there be light, let there be light, light to see, the love in you, the love in me, ever true, ever free. Let there be light, light to see.
Well, thank you, band. That was wonderful. Light to see. Our beautiful flowers this morning were arranged by Fusio Kato, and they are dedicated from Elsie Jane to Peg Mahara to wish her a happy birthday. So happy birthday, Peg. Our reading this morning comes from the Science of Mind textbook from the glossary, the definition of light. In flashes of illumination, the inspired have seen into the very center of reality and have brought back with them a distinct impression of what they have seen and felt. A glimpse of this reality illumines the whole being with a flood of light. Every mystic has had this experience. Jesus, of course, was the greatest of all mystics, and one at least, after a period of illumination, his face was so bright his followers could not even look upon it. In moments of deepest realization, the greatest mystic have sensed that light, one life flows through all, and that all are some part of that life. They have also seen substance, a fine, white, brilliant stuff, however, falling into everything, a substance indestructible and eternal. At times, the realization has been so complete that they have actually been blinded by the light. Light was the first great revelation of the divine creative energy, and that is what called all being into living. Let there be light, and there was light. This is the healing light in the rays of the sun, which we term physical light. There is healing power in that wonderful high-powered lamps. But how much greater is the healing power which Jesus recognized in himself and in others? I am the light of the world. He that followeth me shall not walk in darkness, but shall have the light of life. I have set thee to be a light. He that loveth his brother abideth in the light. The sons of God, without rebuke, ye shine as the lights of the world.
Cleanse my heart, help me see pathways of truth today. Cleanse my heart, set me free. Spirit will show me the way. Take me, shape me, mold me, make me an instrument of peace ever true. I'll hold the light for all to see. I give my love to you. Cleanse my heart, help me see pathways of truth today. Cleanse my heart, set me free. Spirit will show me the way. Take me, shape me, mold me, make me an instrument of peace ever true. I'll hold the light for all to see. I give my love to you. I give my love to you.
As we come into the time of meditation, I invite you to get comfortable where you're seated. Close your eyes if you choose, and go into that heart space, that space of light, of life, of illumination. When light came into the world, it brought with it many things. Among these were life, creativity, illumination of the mind and spirit, and love. These are the things that came into the world with light. And as we speak about them, as we look at life, we see how life has teemed on earth and over eons has changed. The animals and plants that once were have evolved into the animals and plants that we now see. Humankind, when it came into the world, has also evolved. And through that evolution, has recognized itself as creative beings, bringing into fruition all the things that we see on earth. And as we look around, we recognize that everything that was brought into demonstration, into being, was brought in through the mind, through that divine mind of spirit that illuminates us, allows us to know, to see, to understand, and to create, allows us to be a being of resources, because we know that we can always tap into the great source of all, the source of our being, the God, the Spirit, the life. And as we put our creativity to work, we see the many things that we have enabled mankind to do, enabled mankind to see, to be, to grow. And as we do this, we recognize there is an intelligence behind all of our creative endeavors, a divine spirit with energy, with life, with joy, that we have been enabled to do all of this, coming from a small infant, growing through our life into adolescence, into adulthood, and recognizing ourselves as being endowed by our Creator to do these things, to be these things and to express life so fully. As we go into the silence for a few moments, I invite you to think of your own life, the evolution, the creativity, the light that you have been given to accomplish all that you have. And so in the silence, we are one. As we come back into consciousness of this time, this place, and this moment, the one great gift that we are given through light is the gift of love, the ability to be with each other in loving service, in caring and sharing, the ability to be compassionate. And through that light, we each are illuminated into our greater self, into our highest being, into the way that God anticipated when life was brought into the world. And so today I invite you to go forth and shine. And so it is. Amen.
Oh, let there be light. Let there be light. Let it shine and glow by day and by night. And may this wondrous light help you to find a world of love and joy and peace of mind. There is a spark divine glowing inside you. It is a special spine that heaven will guide you. The amber within your heart, it shines like a star. We lift up your soul wherever you are. Oh, let there be light. May it be bright, a beacon of hope and faith by day and by night. And may that spark divine remain in your heart. May it inspire your dreams and never depart. As time passes on, keep it in sight for now and beyond. Oh, let there be light. And may this wondrous light help you to find a world of love and joy and peace of mind. There is a spark divine glowing inside you. It is a special sign that heaven will guide you. The ember within your heart that shines like a star will always lift up your soul wherever you are. Oh, let there be light. May it be bright, a beacon of hope and faith by day and by night. And may that spark divine remain in your heart for now and beyond. Let light in your heart. Let light in your heart.
Thank you, Joy. You're welcome. Rob, I seem to be experiencing darkness up here. Could you fix that for me? Thank you, Rob. Let me ask you a couple questions about that. Now, did you start out by cursing the darkness?
No.
Did you look for someone to blame? Did you say, Mike, why is it dark up there?
No.
You didn't spend a lot of time wondering why it was dark up here?
No.
Well, what did you do then?
I just turned on the light.
Oh, he just turned on the light. Isn't that amazing? That's brilliant, Rob. I mean, he said, let there be light. And by saying it, he really took action. So it wasn't just verbalizing, it was just thinking about it. And he made a positive change. Although I'm not so sure that you being able to see me more clearly is that much of a positive change. You might want to have it a little darker in here, perhaps. There was nighttime, and then there was morning. There was darkness, and then there was light. This morning at, unfortunately, 4:15, I was in beautiful darkness, and then my eyes opened, and there was light. In the beginning, when God created the heavens and the earth was a formless void, and darkness covered the face of the deep, while a wind from God swept over the face of the waters. Then God said, let there be light. And there was light. And God saw that the light was good. And God separated the light from the darkness. God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And then there was evening, and there was morning, the first day. Now, this obviously is not about some guy for actually 13.8 billion years ago saying in English, let there be light, and the world formed. Okay? Science would tell us that they call that the Big Bang. Regardless, it's a creative process, and creation doesn't stop. We are creating even now. And notice something else about this. God never said that the darkness was bad. God never said the darkness was bad. The darkness is an important part of the creative process. And I think that's something, a reminder, a very important reminder for us. Rocco Errico, in the book And There Was Light, writes, darkness holds many hidden wonders. In the blackness of the night, we are able to see the stars and study the heavens. In the darkness of the womb, human life is conceived and nurtured. In the darkness of the soil, seeds germinate. In the darkness of the mind, ideas are born. Darkness is nature's time of rest, formation, incubation, and secret rendezvous of invisible powers and unseen realities. In ancient days, darkness was the mystery of all mysteries. Therefore, sages and prophets described God as dwelling in and surrounded by darkness. Life itself is also dark because its source is a mystery. Life is ever a mystery we cannot solve, but it is a mystery we live and express continuously. Now, there are cycles in our history of times that we call dark times. And we seem to be, perhaps, in one of those times now that many people would call dark times. Anybody agree with that? But we also know that there have been many, as I said, cycles of dark times. I mean, really, this one's, when you look back at what happened in 1918, we're really a lot better off. There was something called World War I going on at that time. And so life evolves. And we get better. And no matter how dark the darkness seems, the solution is always the same. Turn on the light. Turn on the light. And what is this light? And how do we turn it on? Well, we know the other creation story is found in the Gospel of John. And it said, in the beginning was the Word. And again, word not being a verbal expression, but really the logos. It's the creative activity of God. So in the beginning was this creative activity of God. It was with God. And it says that nothing was made without God's creative activity. And that light, as it's called, was the light and the life of all human beings. And the darkness cannot overcome it. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, thou art with me. The light is forever with us. And Jesus, who manifested the Christ light as no other has, told us that the solution is to let our light shine. Again, to let our creative expression show up in the world. Now, we have choices to make. We can look around and we can say, well, curse this dark time. We can look for someone to blame. Chinese did it. And Spanish did it in 1918, right? The Spanish influenza. Or we can make positive change. We can do what is ours to do to bring about the healing. You know, in 1918, they didn't even know that there were such things as viruses. And so there were no tests. People just felt helpless. And we are far from helpless today. I mean, it's interesting. Back in 1918, guess what they did? Social distancing. That time they just called it hiding from our neighbors. And some cities even required people to wear masks in 1918. But many were too stubborn to do that. So 50 million people lost their lives to the Spanish influenza. 625,000 Americans. We've come a long way, baby. We know now that we can help put an end to this by doing what's right. And we know that, thank God now, we know that it's a virus. We know that the people are working on vaccines and things that help people get through this. Even today, people have a much better chance of surviving than they did back in March. But you know, this isn't about just fixing the darkness. This isn't about just making COVID-19 go away. Because the darkness that we're experiencing globally, it's interesting that it says chaos was all over the land. And all over the land now there's pollution. There's poverty. There's extreme wealth, extreme poverty. There's still hatred and prejudice. And all of this, you see, all of this, part of the cycles of humankind, comes up to be healed. When things get dark, we say, let there be light. You know, part of darkness, something else that darkness represents, is being asleep. And so we've talked about for years in Unity, a world powerfully transformed by the growing movement of shared spiritual awakening. We just had no idea what we were awakening to. One of those things, can I go back to sleep now? We need sleep. We need sleep to keep us healthy. If you don't sleep, you're going to get sick. But nobody wants to sleep 24 hours a day. Okay, there are some days when I want to sleep 24 hours a day. I admit it. I'm going back to bed. Wake me up on Tuesday. No, we wouldn't want to do that. And we know that the world has some sickness going on, and we have a new awareness about that. We have a new awakening. We have a higher consciousness. So now that we are aware that there are islands of plastic floating in the ocean, we're aware that when you look at our food, there's little microparticles of plastic even in that. And we're aware that there's still abject poverty in places in the world, and we've all been talking about a new normal. It's not about fixing the old system. The times, they are a-changing. And the wonderful thing is that we are now also aware that we have the resources and the ingenuity and the light and the understanding to get this right. Now, we are told in the Bible that we are born into sin. Now, some people take that to mean that little baby comes out and it's already a sinner, which is a total mistake, total mistranslation. Born into a world of sin means we're born into a world of material consciousness, where we relate so much to our stuff and making money that we forget, we fall asleep. It says we fall asleep in Adam. That means the material consciousness. And we awaken in Christ. So there's something that stirs within us. That Spirit of God stirs within us and fills us with inspiration and divine ideas. And it tells us that we have the resources. Now is our time to not fix the old system, but to create a world that does work for all. And we know we can do it. I mean, it is pretty darn impressive what this country and the world has done in the last 3 months or so. I mean, where did all that food come from? When I see the pictures of, feeding America, And you just see these parking lots just stacked with pallets full of food. You know, back in the Depression, people had to stand in line for soup and bread, right? Now they drive through a line, they pop open the trunk and put a bunch of groceries in there. It's marvelous. It's marvelous. As I said, you know, now the scientists are working worldwide. It's not a competition. It's a cooperation to focus on healing. We have the resources. You know what? In the last 3 months, a handful of billionaires have made $560 billion. That's a big chunk of change. And that's not, you know, I'm not against wealth. I'm all for wealthy people. I love them. Remember, love of money is not the root of all evil. Greed is. People can do wonderful things with their resources. And it's time to do wonderful things with the resources that are there. It wasn't that long ago that we were talking about taking food stamps away from moms with 3 kids. Not that long ago we were talking about, oh, that's entitlement, that $400 Social Security check. Now it's like, TB12? Oh, yeah, sure. We got $500,000 for you. Here you go. Amazing, incredible. We can do this. But it takes moving from a consciousness of material wealth only to realizing that it's all about God. And you can't worship the money. You can only worship God. And as we do that, and more people awaken to that, then we have things like the Gates Foundation that does incredible good work around the world. And so we had 500 of those, all contributing as much as they do. Why? Because they've awakened spiritually and realized that the Christ within them is calling them to a higher purpose. Then we're going to see incredible change happen. Myrtle Fillmore, in the classic that I love so much, How to Let God Help You, had this to say. All of us sooner or later come to a place in our development where we are no longer satisfied to go on living the old life without the knowledge of our oneness with God. Would you say there's some dissatisfaction in the world? The problem is people don't all realize that it's because of their lack of knowledge of their oneness with God. We may even be tempted, she says, we may become restless and dissatisfied. We may go through experiences which we do not understand. We may even be tempted to think that our good is gone from us. But just as surely as there is God, the one presence and one power, we shall find that all is well. That we are but going from one room, as it were, into a larger, lighter room, to a higher consciousness of our oneness with God. As we leave old circumstances, beliefs, habits, and desires behind and seek to understand and to enter into and get the blessings out of the larger life which is ever opening to us, we are filled with a sense of peace, freedom, and assurance that all is well. We should then turn our attention within and devote ourselves to those thoughts and acts which make for poise, order, health, and success. A world focused on thoughts and acts of poise, health, happiness, and success. That's a new normal I can get into. That's the light at the end of the tunnel. Someone once said, if you find yourself in a dark place, keep moving. I think it may have been Churchill who said, if you find yourself in hell, don't stop. Okay? Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I don't set up camp there. We have a vision. We have a light. And even though we are in some dark times, we have to know that collectively, we just keep following the light, following the spiritual understanding that there is a purpose for which we are here. That is to look within and find the Christ light that is your life, that is your source of light, your source of love. Without it, you don't walk the planet. But even after you're done walking the planet, you are still that light. So Jesus made it very, very clear. Don't hide your light under a bushel full of who should I blame games. But hold it high, that all the world can see your good works and give glory to God. Let's pray. And as you close your eyes, notice how good that feels. Just go down to your heart and notice that you have a sense of light there. It's called the incredible lightness of being. It brings a smile to your face. And with gratitude to God, the creator of darkness and light, we say thank you as we let our eyes open and see that there is light. Wow, I almost forgot, my routine here since it's been 2 weeks, and I'm like, well, what are we waiting for, Joy? No, that's right. I know. No, well, anyway, thank you all for being here. Thank you for watching us online. We certainly do appreciate your gifts and offerings that come in here to support this ministry. They just mean everything in the world to us. And thank those of you who came out here. Thank you for wearing your mask when you're in common areas and when you're here sitting here comfortably enjoying yourself, sitting socially distanced from everybody else. And it's definitely a blessing. And we want to use our affirmation, which is divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Together, divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And we remain in this consciousness and take the opportunity to receive the gift of music.
Here's one called The Light Is Here.
Oops. Don't touch that.
See that, Ron? Handle that, will you? 1, 2, 3, 4. When all this seems like more than I can do, a few deep breaths and I began to feel like I can handle whatever comes along. Just another verse in my life song. Some things seem to appear, then disappear. Then looking back, it's like they never were even here. In this ever-present moment, we are choosing love or fear. Keep your focus on what you would make more clear. And remember
Just remember
who really are
who you really
and how it is. We've come this far. Just go with it to figure it out. What this journey is all about. It seems unfair, the hands we're dealt, the path we've walked, the grades we've knelt. But from a higher point of view, you can see it all comes back to you. Remember
Just
who you really are and how it is. We've come this far. Just go with it to figure it out. What this journey is all about. Ask and you receive. Knock and it will open. Seek and you will find. It's all a perception in your mind. comes from and through our mind. Watch your feelings and you will find it's all self-proving. When you get clear, you'll see the light is already here. Remember who
Just remember
you really are
who you really
and how it is we've come this far. Just go within
go
to
within.
figure it out,
Figure it out.
what this journey is all about. But now a change is on to come, and we're the source that it comes from us to us, for us now. Let's make it so we all know how. Remember who
Just remember
who you really are
really
and how it is we've come this far. Just go with it
Just go with
to
it.
figure it out,
Figure it out.
what this journey is all about.
That was brand new.
Thank you again, band, and thank you all. Let's close with a prayer for protection. Together, the light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. Amen. God bless you.